I think that's our fire alarm we might have to clear. I'm kidding. That's just Juan's watch. And it's right on the table, like right there.
Welcome, everyone. This is the Film Glutton, and this is Buffet, featuring an Avengers Infinity War spoiler roundtable, Part 2. In this part, Rosemary, Juan, Carlos, and I start by asking ourselves, was it worth holding our bladders for that long? I had to include this discussion about length because some interesting points were brought up. Then we move on to, in this order, Thor, Rabbit, and discussion on about a minor cameo by a character named Thanos. Enjoy the show, guys. Oh, did I mention it's spoilers?
I feel like it was the right amount of minutes for that movie. Because it could overextend its welcome. There's even as much as you love Lord of the Rings or any movie that you're anticipating. If it hits 3 hours, I mean, you got trailers.
Right.
It could be a lot.
BBS.
Well, the next one's planning. The next one's going to be close to 3 hours.
Which would be
The
awesome.
next one is going to be.
Is it?
Yeah, it's next to 3
wow.
hours.
They probably could, at this point, they could probably make it 3 hours and it wouldn't matter because this has made so much money. It's the most talked about film right now that why wouldn't they? They could do
It
whatever
just wiped
they
out
want.
Star Wars. Like, literally wiped out StarArs.
The Last Jedi was.
There's no more wars in the stars.
There's no more Star Wars.
It's
There's
just
no more
Star
Star
now.
Wars. They
It's
said
just
we
Star.
can't.
No
Thanos
more
is here.
celestial battles.
I mean,
okay.
It just opened up in China and made $66 million in its first day.
Whoa.
Yeah, and it made $9 million in Thursday night openings. Like it's about to blow. It's going to keep
So
extending.
this is the first time. Honestly, when I saw the third Lord of the Rings, Return of the King,
Yes.
I think they
Best
realized
Picture.
the first two movies, everyone just loved them so much. They could have put that. They could have put the running time anywhere they wanted, and people would have seen it. I think it's the same case here. That as big as this is, everyone's talking about it.
course.
So I can't imagine that they'll worry about. I'm sure they'll try to do a brain trust and figure out, okay, guys, we could do 3 hours, we could do three and a half hours, but I'm sure they're gonna look at that movie and bring, every movie they've done is so they're so well done.
Right.
I'm pretty sure
It's
they'll
Kevin
look at it and see
Feige.
what's the
just bring back the intermission. Make it 3 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the guy that can actually sit there and watch because my favorite movies are 3 hours, literally. And I watched the entire Dark Knight trilogy at the ArcLight.
One sitting?
In one sitting.
oh god.
Yeah, so I may be the wrong person to speak on this, but I'm just like, just bring back the intermission. When Hateful Eight came out, it was perfect. Like, you had this great story. You had a second to walk outside and buy some more food and go to the bathroom and
But that's
talk
what
to your
makes-
friends
that's
and
what-
go right back inside, and then you were invested the rest of the time.
But that's what differentiates Broadway plays and movies, though. Like movie, you want to sit down there, and what people like about it is because it's short, concise, and it's right to the point. I think intermission's great. I did like that with The Hateful Eight. Although that's a whole nother podcast
Yeah.
about that movie. Don't even get me started with that.
I will say that
Put that on the schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In general, when I see a movie, if I see the running time, even with my favorite directors,
Right.
if it's at 3 hours, if it's at 250, I'm very skeptical of how good that's going to be. But
Did you think they just went on for too long?
I mean, Hateful Eight, I'm going to tell you something. I
wasted.
did not want to see it just based on the running time.
Yeah.
I have a life. I do have things to do, But that being said, there's movies that are 3 hours that, I've seen JFK 100 times.
it's a great
I,
movie.
I was shocked at how many times I've seen that movie. Because I put it in a journal and I've read it. I've clocked in at 301 times that I've seen that movie. But when you look at Avengers 4 coming out, this is the first. This and Lord of the Rings are only times that I can remember to think, you know what? It won't matter.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna go see it. Everyone else is gonna go see it.
Dude, I still watch the Lord of the Rings extended edition
course
that are
you do.
4.5
Oh,
hours
yeah,
long.
Me too.
No, it's a beautiful-
It's been amazing.
And the audiobook. Yeah.
We gave Carlos the audiobook.
Actually, Rosemary did.
I put my name on it.
What is the runtime of?
I think it's like
Keep going. I will look it up to
Yeah.
verify.
Yeah,
236,
100%.
I think.
It's 2:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was curious as we
Yeah.
were talking, like, what is the actual runtime of this movie? Because I will say, as I was watching it, what was interesting is I never felt like some of the previous movies, there were really significant slow spots, and I could feel the time. I'm like, okay, how much more time do we have? I never felt that in this one.
Yeah.
And I actually felt like this had momentum the whole way through. It wasn't perfect, but it had momentum,
You know what?
which I never felt bored.
I guess, again, I'm the wrong person to talk about it because I love long film. As long as it's needed. I do agree that sometimes it's
Right.
wasted material and it could have been more concise. But as
Yeah.
long as it's needed for the storyline, I'm fine with it. But you still will get hit lulls. I've seen it 3 times. And none of one of those times did I hit a lull.
You saw
where I
eight-
was like,
8 times.
oh man, maybe I could go to the bathroom. Or
Right.
something. No, I was like, oh, I have to go to the bathroom. What do I do? When do I go? Because this is going to come up and this is going to come up. Do
I
go
actually
and-
think you did go to the bathroom
did,
in the
I
middle
did.
of Avengers, and I'm like, what? You're gonna
It was
miss out.
honestly, it was bad. There was no good time.
No.
I realized
Yeah.
that, because I was like, oh, this looks like a downbeat moment, and it just wasn't.
And this has come from John, who we were watching Justice League, decided
yes.
to take a bathroom break right when they show Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I don't even get it.
Okay,
So
So
Uh,
what was the running time?
2 hours and 40 minutes.
It's 2:40.
2:40.
Wow.
Oh my god! I mean, honestly, just again, in general, watching when I see that there's a long running time, it does kind of push me away from watching the movie. But just seeing Avengers, I've seen commercials. I've seen 15-second commercials that felt longer.
Well,
Yeah,
but
that-
it's a long movie if you don't know what it is. You know what I mean? If you just see like the next, like, say a random movie coming out and you don't know any of the characters, none of them are established, and you're like, okay, well, this is 2 hours and 30 minutes. I'm probably not going to watch it.
And you know what's
But, like,
interesting, though? I'm
Avengers-
just looking up for comparison. Age of Ultron, which I still enjoyed, those had those lull moments where I'm like, oh, this is unneeded. It's shorter.
How long is Ultron?
2:20.
See, and I felt like Ultron was longer.
Right?
Yeah, there
That's
are very
fascinating.
Few, yeah, Ultron to me felt long. I think some of the ones we're talking about, the Winter Soldier, Civil War, this one, those are the ones that had, even Civil War for me had lulls. But I would say this had probably the most momentum. It felt the least boring in parts. It felt like it had the least filler stuff to throw in.
In general, long movies do turn me off. But like real quickly with the Hateful Eight.
Noted.
With the Hateful Eight, I
Are we
did
back
not.
to the Hateful
Yeah,
Eight?
because I just wanted to say.
Is this an Avengers?
Let's just change it to
Avengers.
Hateful Eight.
We're gonna talk about Hateful Eight, whether you like it or not.
Tarantino's doing the new Star Trek film, guys.
No,
All
I
right,
just want to say
this
that
is
that
where-
movie. In the end, I did when I ended up watching it. I loved it. I ended up watching it. I think 4 times. I did enjoy it, but not a lot of movies could do that. And when you see a running time, regardless of who the director is, sometimes it's just I think and I think general public, they see that, they don't go watch it.
I disagree. I think a general public is going to watch it because it's a part of the Marvel universe.
Exactly.
Because they have a
Point
track
and
record,
counterpoint.
right? They have a track record. The movies have been great. I mean, here's another.
Oh,
point.
no, wait.
Wait. Because like if you look at the DC movies, like people
we
aren't
have to go
showing
there.
up. I'm
We have to go there.
quick
They're not.
point,
We
right?
have-
Like,
They make movies.
but like people haven't been as forgiving with the DC movies, and it's
Exactly.
shown a little bit in the box office. But with the Marvel, it's almost like, well, this is a sure thing. It's going to be entertaining. They have track record. It's been really good so far, and they delivered.
Yeah, no, I think in general, but no, with Fantastic Four, with Avengers 4,
It's not-
with Avengers 4, they could put it at any running time. I'm pretty sure
course.
they're gonna make maybe just as much, if not more, than Avengers 3.
People are going to watch it. People are going to watch it. Now, my biggest question is, what was your favorite dynamic in the movie? You had like Chris Pratt, Doctor
Thank
Strange,
you for that.
and
Like,
Iron
I was just
Man.
thinking, I'm like, we're going on a long time just about runtime.
This is going
John
long.
was actually about to start talking about DC.
I
and
was.
Star
I was
Trek.
going to cut into the BVS timeline, which is 3 hours, which I absolutely love. But we
And what did you think about Thor and Rocket? I kind of like that. Rabbit, sorry,
Rabbit.
Rabbit.
I love
Rabbit.
that.
Rabbit, yeah.
You know,
Rabbit.
Thor and anyone really in this
Yes.
movie. I think Thor. I have to say, when I first saw Thor in the very first Thor film, I was like,
okay.
Not my favorite. He has progressively become one of my favorites in the universe.
Because of Ragnarok.
Because of Ragnarok.
Exactly.
Every movie has
Ragnarok-
gotten more and more interesting, and this one just kind of blew him out of the water. He's like so good.
Ragnarok discovered Thor. Ragnarok is the reason Thor is such a lovable character. Honestly, because the first two, Dark World, is that even...
Yeah,
Gosh, yeah. Are we even counting that as movie? Like, Ragnarok was such just a home run, and they discovered what makes him good.
And they tapped into his comedic timing.
Yes,
because
exactly.
that's not something they
Yes.
had previously been doing, and Ragnarok really capitalized on how good of an actor he is. Chris Hemsworth. Yeah, how good of a comedic actor he is. So I
Yes.
thought that was really well done.
I will say I did defend Dark World only because I watched it once and I'm done with it. But
The
it's
faces.
the Loki storyline. I mean, I know you got Avengers. It continues all through Thor, but then there's a big relationship between him in Dark World, which then continues in Ragnarok, which is very important, and then ends here.
Yeah.
Right.
So it does.
Oh, it
that's
ends.
that's what's hard about the Marvel. Even the bad ones still have some level of like, oh, okay, except for Iron Man 2.
Well, I think as far as Thor's concerned, I do feel like he was almost better represented in the Avenger movies, more so than his own
that's true.
movies, except for Ragnarok. Because when I would see, I think because you have Joss Whedon, he knows how to handle a variety of characters. He knows how to handle an ensemble.
That's French.
And so when you see him in those Avengers movies, I do feel that he shines more so than the first two Thor movies. I still enjoy those Thor movies, but when that first Thor movie came out, I was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. It wasn't.
Right.
I was like, okay,
Yeah.
not a big deal.
It
The
exists.
second one, I think I said this in the other podcast, but I was like, it's better, but there's not a lot of chances. It doesn't take any risks.
Right.
At the ending, I remember you hated the ending because the climax, because it was so small.
Yeah, you didn't like it.
It all happens in the courtyard for Dark World.
I don't even remember most of it, to be honest. But
And I've seen it literally once.
Yeah.
There's a lot of.
He just realized it was a Thor movie.
I was like, what is this desert movie from part one? No, but I do feel he's represented. But you're right. In this movie, that coming off of Thor Ragnarok, I've seen it a few times now. It's epic.
Yeah.
And to see him in this movie, he has a great arc. I mean, it starts with him. You see his journey to try to find a way to get back on the horse and go fight the person that took him out, took his people
He
out.
doesn't ride a horse.
It's in
the
there.
film.
It's a
Trust
rabbit.
me.
It's a rabbit.
It's a rabbit.
You guys also miss Hulk's weapon.
I mean, this
thing.
may sound sacrilegious, but I feel like that Infinity War might almost be a sequel to Ragnarok.
It kind
Kinda
of
felt that
It
way.
kind of felt that way. Yeah, that's actually a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really connected.
You definitely see where everything's connected
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
I mean, it literally takes place moments after the movie. Especially you see the post-credit scene. I just want to say Thor gave me the best, actually my favorite moment in Infinity War came with Thor. When he was looking at Rocket and he goes, I lost my mother. I've lost my father. I've lost my brother.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else. I lost my people. I don't have anything else to live by. And I think that's really for me, I love those introspective moments when they're actually talking about it. And I think it just validates his battle that he has for Thanos. It's like kind of he's desperate to do this. It gives him one last kind of mission is to get some revenge and avenge his people. Well, they give you moments of Thanos, which are great, where they humanize him, where they make him sympathetic, right?
They did a great job of humanizing because you really understand him. Like most of the time, they give you such a 2D version of a villain.
Yeah,
Where it's
especially Marvel. That's the Marvel problem.
It is.
I disagree with you.
You feel like they're just twisting their mustache and like curling their fingers, like ha ha ha.
Yeah, so who's the villain in it?
But Thanos was really well developed.
Oh, it's the best part because the film's about him too.
Yes,
it's
yes.
not about. That's where if people have issues with characters that don't get enough. Now there is one Black Widow, I think could have had more.
Oh yeah.
Well, they did.
But-
They did that deliberately. I think they didn't give the initial Avengers
Right.
enough screen time
Yes,
because
so they
they're
can
the
come
ones.
back.
They're the ones that live.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But it's also a film about Thanos. He's the
Yeah.
protagonist, so
Yeah.
it allows us to be like, okay, everybody else is secondary characters. No, you didn't get enough, but you got a lot, right?
You know what's funny? I still feel it is the Avengers movie. Thanos.
Well, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Thanos is featured. Like we know he's the main antagonist, but I don't know. You know, I almost feel it is Thor's movie in a way.
What?
I really do feel like it is Thor's movie. Like because when you watch
It's interesting when you look at
it's
it, yeah.
possible that I'm coming off of a lot of like viewings of Thor Ragnarok. That could be the reason. I loved it so much going into this. When they featured him, it just made sense.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm the minority probably because again, you know, Thanos, it's a movie.
He's actually watching Ragnarok as we speak.
Yeah. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna put.
I mean,
pause.
Thor is in it a lot. He is in it a lot, so I could see that point. Like, I don't know. It'd be really interesting for somebody to sit down and actually calculate how much time each character has.
Well,
I'm not
all
going to
made
do
an
that. I've got a
impression
lot
on
of
me.
time, but not that much.
well, Thor, he had that segment
But-
where he was building his weapon.
Well, that's my point. Is I think it'd be hard to say Thor is about. It's about his coming back in a certain respect, but he's literally on his own little separate mission through most of it. Yeah,
It's a
like
journey.
It's
Don't call it a
it's
comeback.
like a tangent thing. It's like, oh, let's take him out of the game. I felt like, even though it was really good and I loved it, and it made it great when he came back in the fourth quarter, whatever football people would say, but like everybody else is in the game, and Thor's just like, I gotta rest, man. I got an ankle hurt, you know. I don't have my hammer.
Although that hammer sequence was fantastic. I think that there's a perfect
incredible.
example of the comedy.
Yes.
Like
Oh,
where
yeah.
Dinklage, right?
Yes.
Where Peter Dinklage is saying like, this could kill you, and he's like, well, not if I'm dead. Yeah, that's what
Oh,
it means.
yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know
what
the
it means.
exact quote.
That
but
was
it's like-
awesome.
And I'm like,
Only if it kills me, right?
Only if it kills me.
Right? And he's like, well, yes, that's
what it means.
What it means.
It was great.
I mean, how great is Peter Dinklage? Period.
As a giant. As a giant.
Damn right I'm in on Peter Dinklage. How great is he? Join us next time when we discuss the current geopolitical climate of the world. Or just more Avengers spoilers stuff. Until next time, this is the Film Glutton, reminding you to never turn down an upgrade. Have a good night, folks.